Guys, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. If you're new here, my name is Roslyn, and this channel is about living in Switzerland as a black woman. So I've waited long enough, and at last the time is here. Tomorrow I'm flying to Kenya. I've waited and waited. It's the first time since I came to Europe that I didn't get to see my family for 2 years. That's been a long time because I've always believed that even if I'm far away, it's always been important for me to keep contact with family, but the pandemic just made everything difficult. So I didn't want the stress of traveling and all that. So the last 2 years I was just here, but tomorrow is the day. Anyway, I don't know how to say this, but it's interesting. I don't know how to say this. I've been waiting so long for this day, but now that it's here, it's crazy, but I'm just not excited. Usually I'm very excited, but this time around things are just different. I had a terrible day at work. Had just a terrible week, packing, unpacking, and all that. And today, still trying to do things in the last minute. And last minute things never work. So I tried to do this and nothing was working. Then I just had a terrible day at work. I come home feeling so low, and I was just tired, and there's just no excitement really. To be fair, I don't know how to say this. I know that the timing may not be very right to travel to Kenya right now, but it is what it is. Just because I moved abroad and all that, I still have family in Kenya, so it is that, and I just didn't want to put this longer because you don't know what will come tomorrow. So it is what it is. But aside, I'm just so stressed out. No excitement, nothing really. I've not even been able to do my hair the minimum I could have done, and I'm terrible with wigs. Really, it's rare to hear this from a black woman, but I started going out with wigs for the first time in my life, I think 2 years ago. Before that, I was never ever putting on a wig, so I don't feel confident, and in such a long journey, I just prefer to have my hair done, but right now I just didn't even get time for that. So yeah, I will have to put on a wig. My journey will be very long, but I will try to explain. Usually when I go from here, I check to make sure everything works out. For example, I will not take a flight which goes from Zurich at 7 o'clock in the morning because it's just too early for me because of where I live, and it will land in Nairobi in the evening. So I do try not to take a flight that lands in the evening because I don't want to spend time in Nairobi. And this is an easy explanation. If I fly in the morning, land in Nairobi in the evening and all that, Then I will have to take a taxi to the city, spend the night in a hotel. You remember I told you in one of my videos, I don't do Airbnb. I just don't feel comfortable. So I want a proper hotel. So landing in Nairobi in the evening always means having to take a taxi into town, spend the night in the hotel, take a taxi the next day back to the airport for my connecting flight. So I do try to avoid that. So when I was looking for my flight to Kenya, I can't explain why, but there are almost no flights to Kenya. There are just so few. For example, since I've been here, there's always been a Swiss flying directly to Kenya from here to Nairobi, but not even that Swiss flight is there. British Airways, Air France, and okay, with British Airways and Air France and all that, I have stopovers, but that's okay. They're usually just quick stopovers. But for this time, after I checked everything, for example, there was a Qatar Airlines, but then I would have been in Nairobi at 5 minutes to midnight. So that doesn't really work for me because I don't want to go into the city, spend the night and come back the next day, because that's almost $200 more than how can I say, that's just spending extra $200 for a night. It's not even a night, midnight. By the time you check out and all that and get into town, into the hotel, so it will be like spending $200 for about to spend a few hours in the hotel to drive back in the airport. So I do try not to do that. So when I checked my flights, there was a Qatar Airways landing in Nairobi at like I said, 5 minutes to midnight. So that's a no for me. There was a KLM flight landing in Nairobi at 10 o'clock. Again, it doesn't really work for me. So when I'm flying to Kenya, everything has to work. I have to check the flight time from here. It has to be not earlier than 10 o'clock in the morning, let's call it that way, because of where I live. Otherwise, just like in Nairobi, otherwise I will have to spend the night in Zurich to be in the airport early in the morning, and I really didn't want that. So my flight has to be not earlier than 9 or 10 in the morning. So again, so I found a flight which will be in Nairobi at 6 in the morning, which is just perfect. I have 2 hours waiting time. Then I have a local flight connection to my home. For people who know Kenya, I'm from Kisumu, so I will just have 2 hours to wait for a local flight before connecting to Kisumu. So that's just a perfect timing. I leave here at 4 in the evening, and I'm in Kenya at 6 in the morning. Then I have 2 hours to wait before a local flight. So it's just perfect combination. The same goes for when I'm coming back. I don't want to reach Zurich after, how can I say, I cannot take a flight which will reach Zurich after midnight, because again, it's still the same thing. Then I will have to spend a night in Zurich. So that's just extra expenses which I don't want to pay. Okay, maybe you'll be thinking, if I already pay for a long haul flight, what's the deal if I have to spend 200 franc more or $200? And if you remember one of my older videos, I choose to, how can I say, I choose not to work too many hours like that. So I work the little I can and save and arrange my things well. So I don't have to give money for the things which I don't need. And I think that's also been the reason that I've been able to visit my family every year, or to do this and this which I want to do without working as if I'm trying to kill myself working. Because after checking so well, I just realized it was not worth it really. I've worked 10 hours a day in the past. I've worked 15 hours a day in the past, and you just reach a point where you have to put your priorities right. So I arrange everything, and it works. So instead of coming back at midnight when there are no trains to bring me in my place, I just have to check a flight which will be here on time so that I can get home with the train. So I also managed to find that, so I will be here. But that's not, this video is not about coming back. I just wanted to explain how I arrange my things. So as I said, when I get to Nairobi, I will just have 2 hours in Nairobi airport, which is just also just right, because if you consider checkout and all, it's just the right amount of time for me to go from the international arrivals to local departures. So that's that. I told you I feel really stressed out. Um, I don't know how to say this. When you come from Europe, or from America, or whichever, let's just call it this way. When you come from abroad, they don't expect, but it's just nice. You want to bring some presents to the family. And I only get 52 kilos from the airline. And I'm not ready to pay for extra kilo. Anybody who knows it knows that every other kilo cost a minimum of what's that, about $25 upwards. So why should I pay $25 upwards? Then I can just buy them that present in Kenya with that money. But it's not the same. People just want something that came from abroad. So it's hard for people there to understand that I can only take 56 kilos with me. And this 56 kilo, I still need my personal items. And that's what's been really, really stressing me today. I have over 60 kilos, which I don't know where to put. I've still not yet put a single item of mine. My laptop is still here, which I even now decided I can't take with me because I just don't have enough space. And as I said, I have 60 kilos, and if I check well, the bigger percentage of family and will not even get any present from me, because I just have the 56 kilo I can take. And People never really understand this, and right now it's just stressing me out. And the crazy part is that I just have so many items that even if the airline gave me 200 kilos today and say, here, you have 200 kilos free, it will still not be enough. Those are the presents that I can take to people. Even if I got 200 kilogram, it will still not be enough. So, but you reach Africa, you reach Kenya or whichever place you come from, and it's like, hey, why didn't you bring me something? Hey, you always come without bringing me a present. People don't understand that 56 kilo is not a lot. And remember, every suitcase is 5 kilo when it's empty. Or if you have I don't know the name, it's 7 kilo empty. So I have 56 kilo. Then from this 56 kilo, I have to deduct almost 10 kilo for the empty suitcase. So it's really not a lot that you can take. And if you want to take extra luggage, it's just not worth it. I tried it in the past. I've just paid quite a lot in the past to take the extra luggage. So it's really not worth it. And for every 1 kilo extra that I have to pay the airline, I can buy something very nice, or just give the person that money to go buy something for themselves. But people don't feel the same about it. It's just something from abroad. So this has really, really stressed me out today to a point that, to be honest, I was feeling, let's call it this way, I almost get angry. Because remember also, I have to transport the suitcase from here to the airport, and that's not, it's not as easy as that. It's not so simple, and all these things just stress me out. Then I reach there, it's like, oh, why didn't you bring something for me? And maybe it's said as a joke, but I don't care if it was a joke or not. I don't like it. Somebody saying, why didn't you bring something for me? I don't know how to say it. I'm almost going to get angry. That's not my business. If you didn't see anything, it's because I chose not to bring anything. But it's always like, hey, why didn't you bring me anything? Or please, next time bring me something. So it's just, it just really, really stressed me out, because it's like I'm supposed to feel guilty, but at the same time, I don't have the space to bring that thing. And it just also costs a lot of energy. Tomorrow, from the time I leave my house until I'm home in the village, it's almost 24 hours. So after this time, you are really tired. If you like it or not, you are really tired. And dragging a suitcase is not one of those things you want. I'm okay to bring presents, and as I said, I have so many presents I buy over the years, and it's funny. This is funny, and I buy something this year because I do go to Kenya every year. I buy something, then it comes time to go out to Africa. Then I think, oh, I don't have the space for it. Not the space, but the weight, they accepted in the airline. I leave it. I'm so convinced I will take it next time. And next time comes, it's here again because I don't have the space. And I have some things which I've had here for 5, 6, 7 years because I just don't have the space. And I always think when somebody asks me, oh, why didn't you bring me something from your place? I always think, if they knew that I have so much things I wish I could bring, but I just can't. If they knew that I only had, let's call it 40 kilos, because the 10 kilos is the empty suitcase. So this really stressed me, and I'm already totally stressed for tomorrow. There's just no, I don't know if it's wrong to say it, but I'm really just not excited to go. And yeah, the timing, I'm not going to mention it more, but if you are a Kenyan and you are watching this, then you know what I'm talking about. But the timing to go to Kenya right now is really, really not the right time. And remember, I'm going to Kenya using a visa, which I will get at the airport. I still don't have a visa because I travel with this. I don't know if I've shown you before. I travel with this. I don't have a Kenyan passport, but it expired long time ago. So I travel with this. So when I'm in Kenya, yeah, I can only be there for a limited time. And the timing right now is really not the best, but I don't have a choice because I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Like I said, in 2019, I was in Kenya in August, September, and I had hoped to be there again the next year. And now is 2 years gone, and I'm here. I didn't go, so I just didn't want to put it off more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not excited, and but there are sometimes things you just can't keep putting off. For example, I have a lovely niece who I've always loved since she was born. And, now she's growing up. She's going to university at the beginning of September. And this was also a push for me to go because I thought once she joins university, she will be, let's call it this way, she will be a grown woman with her own mind and all that. Maybe she wouldn't want to listen to me anymore, or to have fun with me like we used to. So this is also a real push for me because I want to enjoy time with her one more time before she grow up to be a young woman who is starting life on her own. Like I said, she'll be going to the university soon. And yeah, I'm not excited of the travel, but I'm excited to see my family. I miss my mom. I miss my niece. Like I said, she's yeah, I've loved her since she was born. And I also have cousins who I miss, and they grow up so fast. So I just thought, um, let me see them again before they grow up. They are growing up so fast, and I might put things off. Then in the end, I don't know when is next time I will be able to go to Kenya. You never know what will happen. So that's that. Anyway, tell me about your travel. How do you get prepared? Like I said, I'm totally not prepared. Tomorrow I will have to scatter my suitcase again. Yeah, I have to take everything out, be very thorough because I need some personal items. So I will take the guilt which I always have for not bringing this person, this or that, because in my heart of heart, I know I tried, but I just can't. You know, there have been times I go to Kenya and I realize I don't have enough blouses to change, or I don't have an extra pair of shoes and things like that. So tomorrow I will just be thorough, scatter my suitcase and pack it again. And this I will have to do before 11 o'clock because I'm leaving here at 11. It's crazy that I will leave here at 11 and I will not be home until Sunday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just crazy. So guys, that's yeah, those are my plans. I will try to record as much as I can on my way to Kenya, and I will keep you informed. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate your time, and please, if you are new here, subscribe. I always have videos about life in Switzerland, about my daily life, and everything in between, and I would really appreciate your support. Thanks so much, and talk soon. Bye bye.